Perfect. So it's recording now.
Okay.
Yay, group 6.
Awesome.
So is this going to be a time that works for everybody usually every week?
Yeah, this works for me.
This should usually work for me. I mean, I can adjust other things. That should work.
Okay. So this time or a little bit later would be great for me.
Okay.
I can do later. That's fine.
Okay.
Like about till what time, Dana?
I can pretty much do any time up till 2:30.
Okay, and this is 10 a.m. for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm good until 1 o'clock Mountain Standard Time.
Okay.
And then I'm not available. What about you, Amber?
Oh, I think I see Sarah.
Do you really?
She just came really fast and then disappeared.
Was you did see me in a pink shirt?
Yes.
Really?
Blonde hair, glasses.
No glasses.
Oh, whose picture would that have been? Maybe it's Ashley. Okay, well, whoever it was is not here anymore.
I might pop in because I keep trying to adjust the preferences. It's not wanting to allow to function off of my Mac, but I adjusted the settings. It said, would you like to allow it on a Mac HD version? And I said yes. So I don't know. All right.
Dana, are you seeing somebody pop up?
I'm not seeing anything come through.
Well, I'll keep fiddling with it. We can be talking.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we solved one thing as far as we can without Ashley, which is that we could meet Fridays at about this time or a little bit later.
Yeah.
So did you guys both have a chance to read through the instructions back in lesson 1 again?
Yes.
Yes, I've read them.
Okay, so it seems pretty much like this week we just need to focus on what region or area that we want to find our problem in and start to formulate some problems.
Correct. What are your thoughts?
One thing that I found pretty interesting was problems within refugee camps. And it could focus on a specific region, but it seems that the type of problems that they're experiencing are pretty much overall in all refugee camps.
Okay.
That would be great.
That was just something that I came across. So if you guys have other ideas, throw them out there.
We actually have lots of refugees that come into our area, so if I ever needed to, there's a chance that maybe I could find a translator and do some interviewing with people and actually get like first-person reports of what it was like.
Yeah.
Wow, that would be great.
If you like put your feelers out, you might find that you are a refugee accepting state as well.
Right.
I'm pretty sure we are.
Yeah.
I think most states are, but I'm like on the border between Massachusetts and New Hampshire, and both of those states take in refugees.
Okay. I also have, you know, and this family actually has kind of inspired me to pursue public health a little bit. So I've owned a gymnastics gym for about 5 years, and as a single mom, and sold it to go back to school. A family in my ward from they're from the Sudan, they're a refugee family. I just thought, you know what, I want to give them an opportunity, and I put their 2 girls in gymnastics. Couldn't do any skills. Now one of them's doing all kinds of tricks and back handsprings. She just went to Utah State, and they have become really close to us in the past 5 years. Their story is very fascinating. The father, he's got these scars all over his forehead and his body from being in a refugee camp. He doesn't have the best English. Their daughter that just went to college is kind of takes care of all the children because she's got great English. But this would actually be a really great opportunity for me to dig deeper into their background and their story. I would love to do that.
That sounds great to me.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome. What points were you wanting to focus on?
I don't know if there was anything in particular. What I mostly found was sexual violence.
Yes.
Was very prevalent in the refugee camps.
Yeah.
And then also when they first come in, there's a lot of diarrheal disorders because of malnutrition or lack of access to clean water.
Right.
So those were some of the biggest things I found. And then it was more or less just education on clean living in general. Mm-hmm. That was big.
Yeah.
And then another thing that I kind of came across I thought was interesting was the language barriers.
Right.
So I didn't know, I was kind of formulating things in my head, maybe some kind of pamphlets that gave easy hygiene guidelines that could be translated into different languages easily. That was kind of one place my head went to.
Right, that's great. Yeah, and I think with that also, the maternal fetal health.
Yes, that was in there as well.
Yeah, did you get that link I sent you guys? Did you have a chance to look at it?
I didn't see it yet.
Okay, I sent it through email. I just came across they're developing, in Africa, a few different types of apps, but then you wonder, well, how do they get access to these apps? But they can do some malarial testing apparently through some LED light on an app, and there's a focus for mothers and their children in terms of creating a registry for. Their goal is to create a registry of all pregnant women in order to help prepare care for HIV, the spread of HIV through the mothers and the babies. And so I think we could maybe include stuff like that. I don't know, maybe if you have time, look through that website. I thought it was really, really interesting.
So at the end of the semester, we're supposed to have a problem and to have a solution, suggest a solution, right? That's basically what we're doing.
And somehow we have to test it as well.
And test it. Okay. Okay.
So in lesson 1, it gives an overview on week to week what we're going to be doing.
Right.
So I thought it was interesting because somehow we have to test it or implement it. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm thinking we'll get more information on how that's suggested to do as we go on. But I don't think the testing portion comes into play till like week 5 or 6, maybe even later than that.
Okay. Okay.
So that's something we can maybe ask Brother Meekum. Is it Meekum or Meechum? Do you know?
I don't.
Yeah. Okay. So And every time I type his name, my computer corrects it to Megan.
Oh.
Okay, so that's something that we could ask is, I think it's important for us to be able to sort of formulate in our minds how, you know, from the get-go, how we could possibly come up with a suggestion that we could actually test. And if we're doing something that's for refugee camps, where is an application that we could, you know, do that here? It's not, maybe not very realistic.
Yeah. When you look at it for what's due next week, it just says we need to write a paragraph where we describe the disease, condition, illness, or problem that you are planning to address. At this point in the project, you should be seeking to understand the problem and should not yet plan a specific intervention.
Okay.
So it looks like just this week we need to really formulate what specific problem we're going to try to address.
Okay.
And then we can work on the interventions after that.
So we mentioned sexual violence, diarrhea, lack of clean water. Do you feel like we should be more specific and maybe say malaria or HIV?
I think maybe if we take a little time the next couple days to try to research it and then see if we can get access to individuals that we can actually speak with, I think that may be helpful before we decide on one specific thing. If we can't talk to anybody by then we can just make a decision on what we're going to do. But I think if we try to find individuals or information online of like firsthand stories of what a refugee camp is, there's got to be that kind of information out there.
Yeah. I think this is great. I've got a few sources I'm anxious to talk about. We have, when I was younger, my family sponsored a family from Laos, and we're very close with them. And I know that they talked about a lot of the abuse in the refugee camp. And I'm sure that it's universal in most of the refugee camps across the globe.
From what I saw online, it was pretty universal.
Is it from the people who are in the refugee camp as well as those that run the camp?
I will have to find out. I will have to ask.
What was the Amber? Sorry, my computer was cutting out.
Just wondering if the source of most of the sexual abuse comes from the other refugees inside of the camp, maybe from those that are like in authority over the camp.
No, I didn't see anything about those in authority.
Okay.
It was more or less, it was like interrelationship abuse. And then also it was abuse because women and girls couldn't get access to everything they need. So in turn, they were basically used for sex in return for supplies or different necessities that they need.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah,
so I can find some articles that I was reading and send those to you guys as well, just to know where I was kind of thinking.
That sounds great. That sounds great.
So I think maybe if we just do a little research this week and then share it with each other, and then we can kind of work on finding a definite way that we want to go.
Yeah.
It boils down really to corruption. When I was in Cameroon last year, I was just appalled at how blatant the corruption is. Like the girls told us that if their teacher told them to stay after school and started talking to them about improving their grade, they knew that it would just 100% chance be that they wanted to have sex with them.
Oh,
And that
how
could improve their
awful.
grade. So
Oh my goodness.
it's just
How old were
like
these girls?
all ages
Oh.
of girls. And it's not even hidden, and it's not hidden from the parents. It's just expected. And just the layers and layers and layers of corruption. There was corruption at the airport. People told us, you know, if you pay us $60, we'll keep so-and-so from looking in your bags and charging you taxes on your, anyway, it was a huge, like operation, they were all in cahoots with each other at the airport. And we didn't have our host family with us, and so they just preyed upon us, and it was kind of scary. And the girl that was the girl that was part of our host family, I was talking to her about her degree. She's going to be graduating pretty soon in human resources, and I said, so are you excited? Where are you going to be working? And she said, well, I can't work in any of the places that I know of here. I'll have to try to start my own business because I can't make any progress or keep my job unless and then she listed all of the things that she would have to be doing, which sexual favors, she would have to agree to whatever the people who ran, like whoever is over the division, they hire all their relatives, and their relatives are clueless and have no education whatsoever. It's just because they're related, and then they don't do any work. And if you complain, then you lose your job, and people go missing. Like they just get murdered.
Wow.
So it's a very scary thing. So I can see why if you would just like have sex with somebody to get your needs met rather than die or starve.
Right.
You know, I mean, it is sometimes like the only thing that makes sense to these women. And it's just how do you stop corruption that is that deep and rampant and widespread? I just don't know.
It's almost like the sexual abuse is their saving grace in some ways to get them out of.
Exactly.
That's so sad. It's all that they have to offer.
And I think that as the women age and get less appealing, you know, then they're left without that option because the men don't want them. They want the younger ones. And so it's just awful. Yeah, it's pretty awful.
Yeah.
So that would be a difficult thing to apply maybe, but we could definitely at least research it.
Absolutely. Well, I think we have some good things to think about.
Dana, are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're going to research life in refugee camps in Africa or in the Sudan, or where do you want to choose a place?
I would like to do in the Sudan. That would be, I think, in terms of my interviews with this family.
Okay.
I could apply it to the Sudan if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah, I think that personal contact is great.
And we're very, very close, so that would be great.
Yeah, and I mean, they even might have some more insights onto what may be the most pressing issue inside the refugee camp. So I think they would be very helpful.
Yes, that sounds great.
I think one issue, because I did I did an internship with the Department of Health and Human Services here, and they have a lot of refugees coming in from Africa. And I know that one problem there is that there is nothing for people to do. They don't have a job. They don't really go to school. They just sit and get in trouble and make trouble and have sex.
Oh,
So maybe some more forward-thinking ones are actually helping the people to have a job during the day and having school for the kids. That
Or
alone,
just
just keeping the people busy doing good things would solve a lot of the problems, it seems.
absolutely. Maybe we could compile, and maybe it'll be next week's assignment, maybe some questions that you guys would like me to ask them in addition to what I think up on my own.
Sure.
Yeah, I think right now just figuring out what the problem we want to address is, and that may be our problem, is giving them a purpose or something to do so that they're not just getting into that trouble. And then that could help solve other problems in turn.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. And as you mentioned, Amber, the forward thinking could eliminate some of that abuse. How do we inspire them to think forward? Maybe that's what's a motivator for them. Good questions.
Perfect. So I think now we just need to do some research and kind of share that with each other, and that'll help us focus a little more on what we want to do.
Let's decide the best way to communicate with each other. Do you guys like to be emailed rather than the discussion board? So like to have to go on the discussion board to get messages?
I'm fine with either or. I think we just need to be in one place specifically, though, so we're not trying to bounce back and forth.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know why I can't access that discussion board. I would prefer email.
Okay.
I would even text. I'm at the teaching gymnastics a lot, and so I've got my phone, ready and handy, and email would be my first choice.
Okay, yeah, email's good with me.
Okay.
Okay, it's really good for me too.
Okay.
Because I'm not always where I can really sit down and go onto the discussion board, but I can check emails quick, and texting's okay with me too.
Should we start a group text
perfect.
thread? Let me write down your phone numbers, and I'll start a group text thread right now.
Great.
Okay, so Dana. What is your phone number? Okay.
I just put it in the chat bar for you to see.
I don't see a chat bar.
I see it.
Are you on your phone, Amber?
Yeah.
I don't think you can see it on your phone.
Okay.
What is yours, Amber?
603-249-6131.
Okay. Let me just make sure.
Dana, did you invite us via just like amberfoxmcneil@gmail.com?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I just sent the text. So let me know if you get it.
Yep, I got it.
Awesome.
I got it.
Okay, and then when we are able to connect with Ashley, we can just add her.
Okay. I can just send an email overview to everybody. That way she can kind of see what we talked about, and then I'll send her the link to our meeting as well.
That sounds
so she
great.
could view it again.
Perfect.
Hold on 1 second.
Excellent.
That sounds great.
Okay, well, thank you, ladies.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, and we will talk soon.
Sounds good.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye.